Greetings. The second last provocation from Dorothy Day is love. Begin to love. As she said, the world will be saved by beauty, and what is more beautiful than love? There are echoes of this in Frankl's own Man's Search for Meaning. That wonderful passageway where he's talking about his wife because he's trudging out to work and he starts to imagine his wife. And as he says, my mind clung to my wife's image, imagining it with uncanny acuteness. I heard her answering me, saw her smile, her frank and encouraging look. And then a thought hits him. He says the truth that love is the ultimate and highest goal to which human beings can aspire. And he concludes and says, the salvation of the human being is through love and in love. He now understands that. And he understands how a person who has nothing left in this world may still know bliss. Yet Dorothy Day also liked to quote Dostoevsky, who said, love is a harsh and dreadful thing compared to the love in dreams. So love in reality can be pretty harsh and pretty demanding. How so? Well, there are different levels of love. And I often needed to explain to couples about their relationship. You know, when someone says, I no longer love my partner, what they can mean is that they no longer have any erotic feelings, or perhaps not as many erotic feelings as they once had. Eros is that erotic love. Above that, phileo is the love for family, my friends. And finally, agape. That's the challenging one, because that's the love that provides care and nurture and love for anyone, even if it doesn't seem it can be returned. It's the sort of love that I provide for my partner who is a paraplegic in a wheelchair. But I have a spiritual connection and I undertook to be with that person for life. So what does all that mean today? I digress for a moment. I was fascinated recently because I was reading about the concept of mother trees. Mother trees nurture seedlings and also assist and support the growth of other varieties nearby. It depends on the season, but they swap over and give each other nurture. Taking out too many mother trees strips the forest and destroys it, and it will not easily regenerate. On the other hand, as we know, plants and trees also compete for sunlight and soil and moisture, but they can exist together. Now, it seems to me that if trees can live in harmony, then so can we. However, despite seeing love as the salvation of humans, Frankl does relate reality when he talks about what happened after release from the horrors of the concentration camps. Some sought a type of revenge. As he says, the only thing that had changed for them was that they were now oppressors instead of the oppressed. They became instigators, not objects of willful force and injustice. They justified their behaviour by their terrible experiences. So to turn to love for our fellow humans in these circumstances is indeed not love in dreams, but love as a harsh reality. True agape. I've had various calls recently over the last few weeks to condemn violence and terrorism, and I do. But because I am not there, it's difficult to understand. However, I did read a note from the Franciscans recently, a religious order, who have looked for 8 centuries after many of the sacred places in the Holy Land, as well as run schools and parishes in Israel, Gaza, and the West Bank. So they've got a foot in both camps. They have 15 schools in the Israel-Palestine area and offer a wide range of housing and support programs. They have 2 schools in the Gaza parish, and both are currently sheltering families and will need help after the violence stops. And so, as he said, it's difficult not to take sides with Hamas' initial attack on innocent Israeli citizens, infants, children, youth, the elderly, killing more than 1,000, wounding many others, and taking 200 hostages. And it's also difficult to see Israel's response, blocking food and water and medical supplies and demanding that more than 1 million people leave their homes. They're both extreme acts that are difficult for us in Australia to comprehend. We don't have a foot in that camp. Where is the love? To project love in this situation does indeed take courage and is not the stuff of dreams. This group gave me reason for hope. I'm stopping that for a minute because this group gave me reason for hope, and I would like to share the sound with you.
Blindfolded, hands tied. Symbols of some 240 hostages held by Hamas, now for a month. Those in Sydney joining a wider call to secure the release of all captives. In Canberra, the Kaddish, Jewish mourning prayers, said today for all Israelis and Palestinians.
Our hearts ache for all victims of the conflict on both sides, and we wish for a ceasefire now.
We all believe in the sanctity of human life, and we're here to share that message, and we are asking other Jews in the diaspora, who we know many share our views, to stand with us.
They say history shows violence only leads to more violence and radicalisation.
I'm just concerned about the rise in extremism and fundamentalism and hatred across the world. And I'm asking everyone in Australia, whether they be Jewish, Muslim, or anyone else, to please see all of us as human beings.
And that's the challenge, to please see all of us as human beings and to project love. What we can do is to plant some seeds to come back to the forest image and to at least make the world around us better by removing anger and avarice and envy and doubt, and somehow respect human beings and love them as well as we can. Thank you for listening.